Have you ever wondered why vinegar shows up in so many old recipes and preservation methods? From pickles and sauces to salad dressings and marinades, vinegar has been used for thousands of years to keep food from going bad. Long before refrigerators, preservatives, or expiration dates, people relied on this sharp-smelling liquid to protect their food. But vinegar isn't magic. There's real science behind why it works so well. Today, we're going to explore how vinegar prevents spoilage and why this simple ingredient has stood the test of time, right here on History of Simple Things. To understand vinegar's power, we first need to talk about what spoilage actually is. When food spoils, it's usually because microorganisms, like bacteria, mold, and yeast, are growing and breaking it down. These tiny organisms feed on food, multiply quickly, and release waste products that change how food smells, tastes, and looks. Some spoilage just makes food unpleasant, while other forms can make it dangerous to eat. Preventing spoilage, then, is really about stopping these microorganisms from growing in the first place. This is where vinegar comes in. Vinegar's main active ingredient is acetic acid. That acid is what gives vinegar its sharp smell and sour taste, and it's also what makes life difficult for microbes. Most bacteria and molds prefer environments that are close to neutral on the pH scale. Vinegar, on the other hand, is highly acidic. When food is soaked in vinegar, the environment becomes so acidic that many microorganisms simply can't survive or reproduce. Think of it like this. Microbes are incredibly adaptable, but they still have limits. When the acidity around them gets too high, their internal systems stop working properly. Enzymes break down, cell membranes weaken, and essential processes shut down. Vinegar doesn't always kill every microorganism instantly, but it slows them down so much that spoilage becomes extremely unlikely. This acidic environment is especially effective against bacteria that cause foodborne illness. Many harmful bacteria struggle to grow in low pH conditions. That's why foods preserved with vinegar, like pickles, can last for months or even years when sealed properly. The acid acts as a natural barrier, preventing dangerous microbes from taking over. Vinegar also works by reducing water activity in food. Microorganisms need water to survive and multiply. When food is soaked in vinegar or combined with salt and sugar, the available water becomes limited. This creates even more stress for microbes, making it harder for them to grow. That's why many preservation methods combine vinegar with other ingredients rather than using it alone. Now let's talk about fermentation, because vinegar is closely tied to it. Vinegar itself is actually a product of fermentation. It begins as alcohol, which is then converted into acetic acid by specific bacteria. These good bacteria create an environment that harmful microbes don't like. In preserved foods, vinegar helps maintain a stable microbial balance, allowing beneficial or harmless microbes to exist while pushing out the dangerous ones. This balance is part of why vinegar preservation has worked for so long. Ancient civilizations didn't understand microbiology, but they noticed patterns. Food soaked in vinegar lasted longer. It didn't rot as quickly. It didn't make people sick as often. Over time, vinegar became a trusted tool, passed down through generations. Another reason vinegar prevents spoilage is that it slows chemical reactions that break food down. Spoilage isn't always caused by microorganisms alone. Oxygen can also react with food, leading to changes in color, texture, and flavor. Vinegar helps slow oxidation by lowering pH and altering the chemical environment. This is especially helpful for vegetables, which are prone to discoloration and softening over time. That's why pickled vegetables stay crisp and vibrant longer than fresh ones left out in the open. The vinegar isn't just stopping bacteria, it's preserving structure and flavor at a chemical level. It's also important to note that not all vinegar is the same. White vinegar, apple cider vinegar, rice vinegar, and wine vinegar all contain acetic acid, but in slightly different concentrations. The strength of vinegar matters when it comes to preservation. Most food-safe preservation methods rely on vinegar that is at least 5% acetic acid. Anything weaker may not create a strong enough acidic environment to reliably prevent spoilage. This is why traditional pickling recipes are so precise. They're not just about taste, they're about safety. The right balance of vinegar, salt, sugar, and water ensures that harmful microbes don't get a chance to grow. Even today, vinegar plays a major role in food safety. Commercial food producers use acidic environments to preserve sauces, condiments, and canned goods. At home, vinegar is still used to extend shelf life, clean food surfaces, and reduce bacterial contamination. Despite all our modern technology, this ancient ingredient remains incredibly relevant. What's fascinating is that vinegar doesn't stop time, it just slows it down. Eventually, even pickled food will degrade, textures change, flavors mellow. But vinegar buys time, sometimes a lot of it. It turns food from something that spoils in days into something that can last months or longer. So when you open a jar of pickles or drizzle vinegar over leftovers, you're participating in a tradition that goes back thousands of years. You're using chemistry, microbiology, and history all at once, without even thinking about it. In the end, vinegar prevents spoilage by doing three simple things. It creates an acidic environment microbes can't tolerate, it reduces the resources they need to survive, and it slows down the chemical processes that break food apart. It's not flashy, it's not modern, but it works. And that's what makes vinegar so remarkable. It's a reminder that some of the most powerful tools in human history aren't complex machines or advanced formulas, but simple ingredients that quietly do their job, one molecule at a time. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.